Well, we are continuing the journey with the same patient. Just to remember, the patient started with Dr. Nabil Farag. He was a hypertensive smoker patient presented with anterior myocardial infarction. He is diabetic with mild CKD and some dyslipidemia, which was controlled by Dr. Said Farag with PSK9 with a good ejection fraction. After 8 weeks from his anterior ST elevation myocardial infarction, our patient came to the clinic. He was having uncontrolled hypertension, his systolic blood pressure 168 over a diastolic blood pressure of 124. His current medication was atorvastatin, aspirin, bisoprolol, Plavix, Praluent, and ezetimibe. So he is now uncontrolled hypertension after we controlled his dyslipidemia and his coronary condition. So what would you suggest for his blood pressure control? To continue same medication and give time to the drugs to continue, increase the dose of bisoprolol, add an ARB or add a combination of an ARB plus a diuretic. Before changing our treatment plan, let's remember that our patient is a diabetic hypertensive patient with mild CKD. As a start, we'll start with reviewing the last European guidelines for management of arterial hypertension. As a start, any patient with hypertension which is not complicated, the first indication or first line treatment are a combination of ACE and ARBs or ARBs with a CCB or a diuretic. If the patient is not controlled, we give the triple combination of ACE or ARB plus a CCB or diuretic. And if the patient is still uncontrolled after this triple combination, we can add spironolactone. And of course, beta blocker are indicated when there is specific indication for their use as our patient with angina or post-myocardial infarction. Patient with hypertension and coronary artery disease as our patients, the preferred treatment according to the European guideline are the ACE or ARB plus a beta blocker or a CCB or CCB plus a diuretic or beta blocker plus a diuretic. If the patient is not controlled, we give triple combination, and again, if the patient have a resistant hypertension, we can add still the spironolactone with a dose of 25 up to 50 milligrams. Regarding the CKD patient, in patient with diabetic or non-diabetic CKD, the target antihypertensive should be started immediately if the blood pressure is above 140 over 90. Patient with diabetic or non-diabetic CKD recommended to lower the systolic blood pressure within the range of 130 up to 135. RAS blockers are the more effective in reducing albuminuria than other antihypertensives, so they are recommended as a part of treatment strategy in any hypertensive patient in the presence of microalbuminuria or proteinuria. This is a class 1 indication, and the combination of a RAS blocker with a CCB or a diuretic is still recommended as initial therapy in any hypertensive patient with CKD. And again, this is a class 1 indication. And of course, as we all know, that the combination of RAS and any two RAS agents are contraindicated as a class 3 indication. So our treatment goal in this patient is to control his blood pressure, which is not controlled, and to have end organ protection regarding his kidney condition. Why we chose irbesartan for this patient? When we look for the data from the inclusive study, we can see that the patients who were treated with a combination of irbesartan plus hydrochlorothiazide, we can see that 77% of these patients achieved their systolic blood pressure goal and 83% achieved their diastolic blood pressure goal, which is a very significant number of patients. Again, from a retrospective analysis, patients who were treated with irbesartan, 38% were achieving their blood pressure control compared to other ARBs. And especially when we are combining, giving a triple combination with irbesartan, one of this triple combination, again, the irbesartan is superior than other ARBs in achieving a good systolic blood pressure control up to 48% control versus other ARBs. What about the target organ protection or the kidney protection? Of course, the irbesartan molecule has a prime program of irbesartan regarding mortality and mortality evaluation. It has two major trials, the IRMA-2 trial and the IDEN trial. As we can see, starting from the microalbuminuria, preventing its progression to proteinuria, and ending with the protection from end-stage renal disease. when we look from the data of the ERMA-2 trial, we can see that the use of irbesartan, either the 150 milligram or the 300 milligram, we can see a significant reduction of overt proteinuria compared from a controlled study. And the irbesartan normalized urinary albumin excretion and gets 34% of patients with microalbuminuria to the normal levels compared to other medication. And this was the conclusion of the trial, that irbesartan has a renoprotective effect regardless of the blood pressure lowering, 65% risk reduction in the progression from microalbuminuria to overproteinuria with irbesartan 300 milligram, and 34% regression to normoalbuminuria was more frequent with irbesartan 30 milligram. Regarding the IDENT trial, again, we included hypertensive patients with type 2 diabetes and overt proteinuria over 900, and these patients were randomized to irbesartan versus amlodipine. And again, the IDENT trial showing a significant reduction of doubling of serum creatinine or the prevention of end-stage renal disease and or death with the use of irbesartan compared to placebo or the use of amlodipine. And the summary of this trial, that patient with hypertensive patient with type 2 diabetes and nephropathy, the use of irbesartan resulted in reduction in the primary composite endpoint. Proteinuria was reduced 39% and in the irbesartan group compared to 10% in the placebo group. That's why the ARBs, according to the FDA and EMA, the irbesartan is one of the molecules who has a specific indication in any hypertensive patient, especially patient with diabetic nephropathy, type 2 diabetes, and hypertension with albuminuria, as well as kidney protection from the end-stage renal disease. And the approval is the only indicated ARB for type 2 hypertensive patient, regardless of the stage of the renal disease. Also, regarding the protection from the occurrence of the cardiovascular events, we can see the use of the irbesartan reduced significantly in the southwestern Ontario database, significantly reduced the occurrence of any cardiovascular events compared to other ARBs or other ACE. So irbesartan is one of the ARBs that does not affect it's not affected by any food intake. It can guarantee a 24-hour steady state control of the blood pressure without any fluctuation or blood pressure variability. It allows 8 out of 10 to reach the blood pressure control. This was data from the inclusive trial or the Little John trial. As we said that we have 80% achieved systolic blood pressure control. It have a nephroprotection from starting prevention of overproteinuria or end-stage renal disease. This data was driven from the ERMA-2 trial and the IDENT trial from the PRIME program. And finally, irbesartan has been shown to reduce the occurrence of cardiovascular events in comparison from other ARBs from the Southwestern Ontario database trial. And thank you.
Thank you.